Faded Glory. The Battle for Taiwan. Chapter 1. The Gathering Storm. The USS Relentless cut through the choppy waters of the Taiwan Strait, its deck alive with activity as sailors and soldiers prepared for the inevitable confrontation. On the bridge, Victor Sharp, now a seasoned mercenary leader, scanned the horizon with binoculars, his eyes narrowing at the sight of the approaching Chinese fleet. "Carlos," Victor called over his shoulder, his voice steady despite the tension that thickened the air. "It's time to execute Plan Delta." From the communications deck, Commander Carlos responded, his tone resolute. "Understood. Raven, are you in position?" A crackle of static, and then Raven's voice filtered through, confident and clear. "Affirmative. Infiltrated the enemy flagship, ready to disable their communications." Carlos addressed his team with a calm that belied the urgency of their mission. "Hold your positions and wait for my signal. We fight not just for Taiwan, but for the freedom to resist oppression." Chapter 2. Clash on the High Seas. The naval skirmish erupted into chaos as both fleets unleashed a barrage of artillery. Amidst the roar of cannons and the splintering of wood, Victor maneuvered a smaller, faster vessel through the enemy lines, intent on boarding an enemy destroyer. "Keep them busy! We only need to buy time for Raven!" he shouted to his team as they exchanged fire with Chinese soldiers. Victor leaped onto the enemy deck, dispatching adversaries with a blend of martial arts and sharpshooting, his path carved with precision toward the bridge. Chapter 3. The Spider's Web. Inside the enemy flagship, Raven moved like a shadow, her enhanced senses allowing her to dodge surveillance and neutralize guards with silent precision. Reaching the ship's mainframe, she inserted a sleek device that began uploading a crippling virus. "And now, the spider weaves her web," she murmured, watching as screens flickered and communications garbled into static. Chapter 4. Defense of the Shores. On the beaches of Taiwan, Carlos stood with his forces arrayed behind makeshift fortifications. As Chinese troops began their land assault, the defenders unleashed a barrage of guerrilla tactics. Victor, having rejoined Carlos after his mission on the destroyer, rallied the troops. "Hold the line! Every second counts!" Carlos bellowed. Over the din of battle, he communicated with Raven. "Comms are down! They're blind! Now's your time!" Chapter 5. Dawn of Retribution. With the Chinese forces thrown into confusion, the Allied defenders launched a fierce counterattack. Raven, from her position aboard the captured flagship, coordinated precision airstrikes that decimated key enemy positions. On the ground, Victor and Carlos charged forward, reclaiming territory with each step. "For freedom!" Victor roared as they pushed the enemy back towards the sea. Epilogue. A fragile peace. As dawn broke over Taiwan, the battered but resilient defenders watched the remnants of the Chinese fleet retreat. The island was scarred, but unbowed. Victor, Carlos, and Raven gathered among their weary comrades, their faces etched with the toll of battle yet lit by a fierce determination. "We've held them for now, but this is far from over," Carlos said, his gaze steady on the horizon. "We'll be ready. We always are," Victor added, clapping Carlos on the shoulder. Raven looked out to sea, her voice thoughtful. "Let's just hope the world was watching. We're going to need all the help we can get." Together, they stood watching the sun rise over Taiwan, a symbol of their unyielding spirit and the continuing fight for freedom and sovereignty.